You're listening to the Two Moms Zero Fucks podcast.
Yeah, you heard that right.
With Brooke
And Jen.
Earmuff the kids.
And buckle up because this is not your mama's podcast.
We are so excited to have the first episode of Two Moms Zero Fucks finally getting on board. Hopefully you guys are watching the video so you can understand us, but I just want to say welcome. This is the first of many. The first of many shit shows.
It's actually not the first of many. It's just the first of many that are getting recorded. Brooke and I have been talking about doing this for a very long time just because somebody should be listening to the conversations that we have.
Also, I just want to say that I'm going to go out and say it right now before we introduce ourselves. We were recording before.
I
farted. It's what happens when you've had 3 kids. So Jen was having an issue with the boom stand with her mic, and it was just like a limp, wet noodle. And so I had to come over and fix it. And I was like, all right, we'll just re-record. Even though that's not going to be a common practice of us. We're just going to roll with the fuckery.
Very little edits, so shit might be off the wall, but that's who we are.
Yeah. And we just started laughing. I was like, oh, we'll re-record this. And I was like, stopped recording the video, stopped recording the audio, but I didn't stop recording the video. And I was like, oh, I have to sneeze. I was on all fours. I am a woman of a certain age, 38 to be exact, like 48 hours into being 38. And I sneezed and I was like, oh, I farted. I said I may have farted.
I just want to say that I'm 40 and I don't think that it's an age issue. I don't think that it's an age thing.
Well, it happens.
But it does happen. We fart, we laugh,
we
cry,
pee ourselves.
We say crazy shit. Probably most of the reason why we're friends because we're fucking nuts.
Yeah, we really are. So we hope you enjoy the ride with us. We have so much that we want to talk about. It's going to be real. It's going to be raw. It's going to be opinionated, unfiltered. We just want everyone to feel comfortable here. We want everyone to have a good time and laugh, and we want you guys to participate.
We also want to make clear that we might be super convicted in our views, but it doesn't mean that we are judgmental or that we're not open to hearing other people's opinions. And that's what we want to cultivate here is a community conversation about important topics. And about bullshit topics also.
Yeah, like there's so many things.
We're just as into the unserious things as we are the serious things. So.
Yeah, we don't judge and we don't scale it on a measurement.
No.
So, and I think that's a good point is like we're going to seem like we're very opinionated about things, but we don't want people to feel like if they don't agree with us, they can't hang. Like the table's open for everyone. Mm-hmm. And we're not a believer of cancel culture. If you don't, we just are not a believer or we participants.
Believe in fuck ups.
Yeah, we're not participants of the argument culture. So that's what we will not be doing. Like we can have healthy discussions, but we're not going to argue with anyone. We're not going to cancel. Like take what you get from us. And, you know, if you're watching the video part of this, these are our blankies. Mm-hmm. So
we're codependent, which is, you know, part of the reason how we met.
Yeah. So you want to go into the how we met?
So Brooke and I met in Tennessee.
In like bumfuck Gatlinburg, which if you're from Gatlinburg, no judgment, but we were like really no cell service.
No, I actually really enjoyed it. I went with my family like a year and a half later, 2 years later. We stopped there when we were moving to Florida, and it was really a really great time for the kids. And I had a good time there because I walked away with a friend that was my friend long distance for a very long time until me and my family made a move to Florida. And now we get to be real friends in person. So,
I know. It's not just interweb friends.
Yeah, we were on a retreat for a wellness company that we also share together. And that is part of where this community culture kind of comes from, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know which comes first, the chicken or the egg when it comes to that.
It depends on who you talk to, honestly.
If you talk to my coach, I have like an issue with partnerships, but I think it's just who I am and the businesses that we're in.
I think it was so funny because we had talked on the internet, but I feel like I talked to so many people. It's hard for me to like place a name with a picture or a profile. And I think too, the other thing with social media is you have so many conversations, but you never expect them to like manifest into real life friendships. Mm-hmm. And that's the beautiful part of it and we're going to talk about that in another episode about the shit show of social media. But we were on this retreat. It was like 3 or 4 days, and we did a lot of team building stuff, and we were just bonding and having fun. And Jen comes in.
Well, I wasn't really part of Brooke's like group of hanging there. She was like she was with the cool kids.
Not, I know. I
Yeah,
was just like not
were.
drunk. I was the only sober
you were
one in
trying to
there.
be. You were hanging out with the drunk kids.
I was babysitting.
Okay, she was babysitting the drunk kids. I was sleeping upstairs. I was like really there like to learn, and like it was my first type of experience in like that kind of like community. So I was really nervous because I ended up there by myself. I traveled there by myself. I was like delayed by myself and like stranded at these outlet stores. And
Not a bad place to be stranded at.
No, but it was like also not a great place to be stranded at either when I just wanted to get to the fucking house. So I ended up getting to the house late, and I obviously leached onto like the people that I was most comfortable with, and we were like the early people to bed, and we were up early in the morning like doing all the things because it wasn't like free time. Like
mind you, I was upside down out by the hot tub twerking on the wall to Gangster's Paradise.
This is the same person that just told you guys that she was babysitting.
I was, but I was also the entertainment. I was waiting for someone to throw dollars at me and no one did, so I stopped.
I think you were with the wrong crowd for that.
I definitely was. But so at the last day we're packing up and she comes and sits on my bed and I was like, oh, hi.
Everybody was gone and Brooke was like packing up and I was upstairs and I was like, hey, like, can I come in? And she was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, can I ask you some questions? And she was like, yeah. I feel like that's just how I am with people. Yeah. It's like more of an interrogation.
Your daughter's also the same way, by the way.
Yeah. We just like fire away questions that like we need to know, awkward or not. And we talked and the rest is really history.
Yeah. And then I think we really bonded when we all went to Cabo together. Same company.
Yeah.
Different location, different trip. We just had a really fun time, minus some of the people that were with us.
But that was like that was like an experience where like we really got to know each other's like personality.
I met your husband for the first time.
And then you get to know people's like dynamics within their families and relationships and whatever.
Yeah, and that was like a real vacation. Like everyone was kind of just chilling out. There was no work involved, so it was like there was no like
that we weren't on earned.
That shit was earned.
That was earned.
Free vacay. DM us. We can talk to you all about it. But yeah, and then we literally start talking every day. And then during the pandemic, she's like, I can't take this because she was living in New Jersey. And she's like, I just need to get my kids out of here. I'm like, come to the free state of DeSantis. And she literally, like, I thought you were going to like sit and waver and waft on that. And like probably like a few days you were like, all right, we're driving in the car. I'm like, oh my God.
I had a date in mind. True story. Like I had done a Lionsgate like open portal. So you're going to hear a lot about that here too.
We're very spiritual.
We're very spiritual. And I had done like, it was the 8/8 portal. And in this portal, I had to do this visualization of like where I wanted to be in like 6 months, like when the portal closed. And I think that the date ended up to be, I don't know if it was when it closed, but the date was like February, maybe it was February 8th. And I remember making that my goal. And there was a lot of shit that went on between my husband and I during that time that
she hated him in that moment.
We'll spend a whole other episode on like relationships, on the up and downs.
And how he almost killed the whole family on the way down.
Oh, God. Well, we don't.
Are you triggered?
Well, way to trigger my traumas, Brooke.
Do you need to lay down for this? You can lay down.
No, I don't. I actually had a moment of clarity the other day when I was on the highway. I like wanted to call Carissa like right away. And
Carissa's her life coach. She's amazing. We'll have her on the podcast, by the way.
And I just like had this moment of gratitude where I realized that for the first time in a really long time, I was driving on the road and I didn't feel any kind of fear
or anxiety
about it. And it had been since before that I had felt, I thought that it was going to be a forever thing. Like I thought that forever and ever and ever, like I was just going to be like terrified to be in a fucking car.
And doesn't it make you feel like you almost feel free?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, is something else coming?
Yeah. Big things are happening, like the podcast.
Anyway, I had put a date like on the move and I was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after. And I kind of had to force my husband like into a corner in order to do it. We came down, packed up our apartment, put things in storage, took as much as we can, laid over at a friend's house in Jupiter, looked for a place to live. Where I live now is not where I thought I was going to live, but I can tell you that it's exactly what I visualized when I was in that ceremony, and I had it written down in a book.
That is crazy.
It's so crazy.
The art of manifestation is insane because when I went through my divorce, I started seeing someone pretty soon after that, and I I don't know that I trauma bonded with this person, but this person allowed me to feel like a human and feel like a free human, which was very important for me. This person fucked with my head, you know, all about this. And she's smiling because she's like, yep, I was there for all of it. Like I probably called her on the daily, like, I don't know. And she's like, just stop. And it just, you have to learn your own lessons.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to be me. I've been with my ex since I was 15 years old, ran away from home at 17, married at 19, started having babies at like 22. So this was a person that I had known my whole life. And then making this decision 21 years later to like, all right, this isn't conducive for me. I'm not happy. I can't make him happy. Like it was very hard. And like, I'm so forever thankful for you and your husband for being there for me
I love you.
for that whole process. And you really like know who your friends are. And the one thing I can say about Jen is she is one of the few, probably two friends that I have in my life that just don't judge me. And I think to have a person like that in your corner is just like, it's like family. It's invaluable. But I did the same thing after this relationship with this person. I wrote down everything, and it wasn't like I want him tall, dark, and handsome.
No.
I wrote down like needs to be supportive, needs to support my goals, needs to be financially stable because I'm not going to be someone's sugar mama. You know, like I know my hustle, but I also
That's a shocking statement
Yeah.
coming from Mama Warbucks over here.
Mama Warbucks, mama like bleeding bank account. So yeah, and like I wrote down probably like 20 to 30 things, and I met my now fiance. I'm a fiance, and he is the most amazing person. And it was on January 11th on the beach that I wrote these things. And I remember when I met him, I like had no interest, and I was like, no, I wasn't ready to date. Like I was having fun in my life for the first time, single for the first time.
Yeah, you were having a time.
Yeah,
I
which
was
we will talk
shadily,
about.
like living vicariously through you, because I was happy for you to have that time, because I know that you didn't have like that era of your life.
Yeah,
So
of experimenting and meeting people and just not caring. And I'm not mad at it. I don't like. I don't regret a lick of it. I regret people that left my life because of it, and that I think that was the hardest thing.
Those are
their issues. Yeah. But I remember like something inside of me was telling me like he's a good guy. Like I literally saw his soul and his like inner child the minute I talked to him. And something told me just, you know, don't come from a place of no, come from a place of yes. And the more we talk, the more I realized like, oh my gosh, he's checking off all these boxes that I made in my manifestation on January 11th. And so I think there's like really big power in that. And I love that.
Yeah. Me
so,
too.
But we digress as we always do.
Yeah. So it'll always get like this, but this is just who we are. We are deep humans
with souls.
No,
even though
we're just having a human experience. Like we're all just trying our best. And if you're, you know, doing things the right way, hopefully you're evolving. Hopefully you're trying to get deeper. I always am. That's like why I do coaching work. And I think that we share that in common.
Yeah. I see a therapist regularly. I have for like the last 12 years. So.
And we're also here to be like raw and share like things that.
Vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah. I like, you know.
I think we want to make other people feel normal in a perfectly curated world where everyone's so connectedly disconnected. You know,
I like to coin myself as a conscious creator in real life, and I really believe that. And I think that as long as you are doing the things that align with who you are authentically, then like the ebbs and flows of life just can be a lot nicer and a lot less traumatic for you.
And you don't have to be so rigid. Life is in a box, and you're always ebbing and flowing. You're always growing. You're always shedding layers. And I think that that's important. And I think when you go through life with so many, like, I have to do this, I have to do that rigidness, that you really just close yourself off to so many things.
You start hitting walls within yourself. And I think that that's also why we want to talk about all of these things out loud, because it's all of these like stigmas around conversations that you shouldn't be having that kind of put you in these like boxes that you just want to break out of. So let's have a fucking good time.
Yeah, and
talk
just
real shit.
know that this is a safe space for everyone, whether you align or not, like we said. So welcome to the shit show.
Yeah,
we're both
welcome to the
moms.
shit show.
We're both entrepreneurs.
We're moms, entrepreneurs, wives. We are
chauffeurs, chefs, maids.
Oh my God. DBAs.
DBA everything. We're going to have merch.
Wellness junkies. God, you know, that's what I spend all my money on.
Yeah. Vitamins and supplements.
I'll be going tomorrow.
Give me
vitamin D and
the only lines I take is ascorbic acid. So you're welcome, world. But yeah, this is us. This is definitely not a podcast you want to be listening with your children in the car if you give a fuck about them. But if you don't, that's okay too. You can still listen.
Judgment there. Somebody told us as we were like, you know, getting with editors and stuff, like, is this something that you're going to want people to turn down?
My kids are going to listen to it.
When your kids are in the car, and I don't know, maybe the answer for some of you is yes. The answer for me is no. I'm a straight shooter when it comes to my fucking kids, and I know that Brooke is too.
Yeah.
And
they were like, are you sure you want your name to be 2 moms 0 fucks? Like, why don't you put like a little asterisk in there? And I was like, they're not our people then. Like, I don't care. Yeah. I'm not worried about censorship. We're going to talk about that. We're going to, you know, I'm not worried about any of that. If there's a platform that's going to censor us, then sorry, good luck to you.
Yeah, then use a different one.
Yeah. So I think that is it, guys, for our first episode. We did it. We did it, Joe. We did it.
And when you do it, it gets done.
And then it's like a hot air balloon, and the hot air balloon rises, and then the bus and the wheels on the bus go round and round. Can you do a Kamala cackle? I can't.
I haven't had a nervous breakdown yet.
So I have. We'll talk about that, but I didn't cackle like that. So welcome to the shit show, aka the 2 moms 0 fucks. We hope you guys enjoy. We hope you like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram. It's TMZF. I had to refer to the sign because my initials are always wrong. TMZF Podcast. Shoot us a line. Not that kind of line, but shoot us a message, comment on our stuff. We want to hear from you if you have a topic that you want us to talk about.
Head to our website. Yeah. There's a form there that you can fill out, tell a story, talk about any of these things, like add your commentary. Like, we want to hear all of it.
Yeah, we want you guys involved. So welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Bye.